Max Sterling, welcome to LarpMix. Now just from the title of this video, you've probably already started viewing this with preconceived notions. But I'm going to ask everyone to just set those aside till the end of the video, and please do not rage quit this video at any point in time. I'm going to talk about a couple of different things, and you may be sensitive to those. I ask that you still just keep watching the video, because at the end, I think everyone's going to come out with a more big picture sort of look at elitism, gatekeeping, and barriers that may or may not exist to LARPing. So I had a whole script written out, arguments, counter arguments and stuff, but I looked at it and it was trash. I don't want to have just another video or another discussion on this subject where, you know, elitists feel put down, people with barriers feel put down, and everyone in the middle white knighting these people, and it's just a mess. And that's all that I see online. So I want to have a healthy discussion about this. And in order for this to be a healthy discussion, we need to understand community. When we talk about the LARP community, there are many different. We try to view this global LARP community where everyone who LARPs, you know, can get along and be peaceful and hold hands and, you know, skip through the fields, but that may or may not exist. But LARP communities on smaller scales certainly do exist. So whether it's, you know, your local town, whether it's your local LARP or even your local country, you know, you can have these communities that exist there. And it's important that we foster these communities and then try to be good global players as well. But at the very least, you can work on your LARP community at the LARP that you attend. And in order to make a community, everyone has to pitch in. So when you have elitist players, you know, coming on the field and they're just, you know, belittling and just pissing all over new people because they have substandard kits or costumes, or they're making fun of other players for whatever reasons. When you have games that newer players or even existing players, they come to the game creators and game runners and they say, hey, there are these barriers that people who want to play would come, but they can't afford to get in or they can't get here for some reason. And when those creators turn a blind eye to that, that's not creating a good community. But also, when players have unrealistic expectations, that also does not create a good community. So when you look at having to have a certain kit in order to play a game, and you say, man, this game sucks because they want me to buy this costume in order to play, you need to be realistic as a player as well. I mean, you wouldn't like if you're watching Lord of the Rings and one day just, you know, during filming, you know, Frodo and Gandalf's characters showed up in street clothes. And, you know, when we talk about community, it takes effort from everybody. And, you know, I know that sucks, that there may be games you want to go to that you can't attend for whatever reason, but there's games I can't go to. Whether it's travel because I have to go to another country, whether it is money because there are kit requirements, or just I can't afford, you know, the airfare and all that stuff, or to miss work for long periods of time, you know, or language barriers. I mean, there's all kinds of barriers out there that prevent all kinds of people from attending games that they want to play. I've been trying to go to a festival called Wasteland Weekend. It's out in California. I've been trying to go there for years, since it started. I have not gotten there yet, and that's in my own country, and I haven't been able to get there. I'd love to go to that event, festival, wherever you want to call it, but I can't get there. So as players, we also need to be realistic about these things as well. But what can we do as a community to try to overcome this elitism, these barriers that may be presented, and also as players, what can we do? Let's talk about game creators first. So if you run a game or an event, okay, you're basically, whether you're a club or not, you're a business. If someone is giving you money, you're exchanging it for an experience or a service, and you need to make sure that you can provide that. Now, why would you want to turn customers away? I mean, if you have people that want to give you money, but the problem is they don't have the right standards to meet your dress code, wouldn't you want to help them so that they can come and help be a part of your game and give you money? I mean, from a business standpoint, the answer is of course yes. But if you're a club or a nonprofit or something, then I mean that answer may become a little bit muddled, but I would still think you would want more people than less people in your community. So what can you do to help these people out? Well, if it's a monetary sort of barrier, so if it's ticket price or venue price or something like that, that's easy. I mean, I've seen a lot of games do this. They'll give away a few tickets here and there. They will have a few deals that they can make for certain people, and that's very cool. That's a good start. You can offer NPCing as an option, because a lot of times games will let you NPC for free. Sometimes they even pay you to NPC. Well, as a player, that may be a bummer that I can't be a PC and be a player character in a game, but if I can still attend the event, meet some people, and get to be part of that world, then maybe NPCing might not be such a bad thing, that first time out, or until I'm able to save up enough money to do a PC event. So a little bit of give and take on both sides will go a long way. If it comes to costume, then usually we're talking about money, because you can go online and you can purchase anything from a very basic costume to very elaborate costumes, but it all just comes down to money. If you have a limited budget, you're not going to be able to buy a $4,000 custom suit of armor to wear to a game. And that's the truth of it. And games should not expect you to do that either. I understand a game wanting to have a dress standard or a costume or kit minimum, because they're trying to create a immersive experience with a cohesive atmosphere and have everything just looking great, and they don't want a few people mixed in there in blue jeans, white tennis shoes, and Megadeth t-shirts. Okay, they want the whole experience to come together and everyone to at least be at a minimum standard, so that they can create this world and this immersive atmosphere that they're trying to create. So you can't fault them for having some sort of basic minimum, but you could fault them if it was $2,000 worth of kit that you needed to play. I think as a creator of a game, you should work with vendors, or you should put together a list of places you can go where you can buy this item, this item, this item, and that will get you in the door. And keep it under $50. Keep it cheap for people, under $50. Maybe even as a game creator, buy 3 or 4 costumes in different sizes and offer to rent them for the event. Maybe rent them for $5 or $10. If it's a fairly inexpensive kit, you'll make your money back within a few events, and that would really help people. Or maybe even if you don't rent it, just let people borrow it for free for a first event. But by the second event, there's an understanding that you're going to need to come up with a kit. A lot of what I do on my channel here is inexpensive projects, stuff that really anyone should be able to do. You can go to thrift store and buy stuff real cheap. You can use your old clothes to make stuff like my t-shirt tunics, my $2 Viking leg wraps, and all these awesome videos that you can check out on my channel. I keep it cheap for people because I know that there are barriers for a lot of folks. And moving back, as a creator, you can do this stuff to help out your players and help get those new players in the door. Now, as existing players, you need to be understanding and understand that these are newer people. These are level 1 players, basically. Maybe you've been at a game for years. Hell, maybe you're 50 years old and this is an 18-year-old kid. You've had years upon years of work to build up money, put it in a 401k, save it up. Maybe you're a doctor or a lawyer. Hell, I don't know. Maybe you make $100,000, $200,000 a year. Fact is, it's a community. Nobody should be belittling anybody. If you have a great immersive kit that you made or you bought, that's fantastic. Talk to the people that don't. Help them or let them know where they might be able to find things, or how you did a certain thing to maybe help them look better. That way the next time you come back, maybe they took your advice and their kit costume starts looking a little bit better, and over the period of a couple of years, it gets better. I see a lot of before and after pictures that people post online, and you can see that when they were younger and a few years back, costumes were pretty simplistic. They weren't bad, they were just simple. And then a couple years later, as they've grown, invested a little bit more in the hobby, the kits and costumes and stuff look better. And that's just sort of the natural progression. You can't expect someone to just walk in the door with 20 years of experience in artistry, leatherworking, metalworking, and just have this awesome immersive thing. I mean, does that happen? Yes, some people do save up, they buy the stuff, and they come in the door looking like that, but you can't expect everyone to walk through the door looking like that, especially if they're younger and haven't had a lifetime to amass a fortune to do this stuff, or a lifetime of collecting things from travels and whatever. So just be realistic, be part of a community. Experienced players help the newer players, the inexperienced players, to do better. Newer players and experienced players, don't view, when people offer your help, don't view it as a handout. Don't view it as, well, they think I suck, so they're going to enforce their standards upon me. Try not to view it that way. Try to view it as, these people are just legitimately trying to help me, and take their advice and listen. The problem with elitism gatekeeping comes in is that we see it done poorly so many times. There is certainly a right way to do it, and there's a wrong way to do it. A right way to do it is sort of like we discussed, is to have a dress code or a base standard, but offer alternatives to people who aren't able to meet those. As far as being elite, that's great. You're the best looking person on the field. As a new person coming in, I can see that you are the best looking person on the field. You don't need to come over here and piss all over me and tell me how much I suck for me to comprehend how good your kit looks. I already know it looks good. Instead, come over to me and say, hey, you new here or whatever, open a conversation. I like what you're doing here. And then just start a conversation. Maybe the person doesn't want to do anything with their kit. And you know what? You're going to have to be okay with that. It doesn't matter that you're wearing $5,000 worth of kit and this person is wearing $5 worth of kit. As long as it looks the part, then both people are just going to have to deal with that. And hopefully over time, things start to meet more in the middle. Now, community, that's a tough word. It really does require everyone to work together, and that's hard to do. When you belong to these global forums and stuff, and I'm sure a lot of us do, you just see a lot of just hate and bickering back and forth, and it makes you even wonder if that word community does exist in LARP. But like I said, if it doesn't exist on a large scale, it can certainly exist on that smaller scale. And as far as elitism, just don't be a dick. It's a basic rule. If you see something you don't like, you don't have to say something about it, okay? And as a newer player, have realistic expectations. Real talk, every game isn't for everybody, you know what I mean? You may do some research into a game, and if it does require $500 worth of gear, that's a game that you might not be able to attend. And that sucks, but it's the reality of it. You can try to prioritize some stuff in real life if you want to try to save up. You may need to wait a year or two to go to it, but you do what you can, and if you can't attend it, then you're not going to be able to attend it, and try to find another game. Just like me with some of these big events I want to go to, it's just not realistic. Maybe 10 years from now I'd be able to hit up one of these events, but it's crushing to me, but I know it's not in the cards for now. And I think having realistic expectations on myself and the games that are provided, I can't just expect them to mail me a plane ticket, give me a free ticket to the event, put me up, room and board, give me a costume, and let me play for free, and expect my work to pay me while I go. That's unrealistic expectations. But as a game creator, you should go out of your way to try to help these newer people into the game if there are barriers like that. If you have a $500 kit minimum, have kits that can be rented or kits that you can loan. Try to get group discounts on airfare, group discounts on hotel, block out hotels and stuff like that. Try to do whatever you can in your power to make those barriers as small as possible for people to enter your game. And if everyone works together to create that community, then I think we can eliminate a lot of this sort of disdain and trouble that occurs from people not being able to come to games not being receptive to people that are trying to come to their games, and then once you get into the game, these elitist people walking around just belittling everyone and treating them like garbage, because that's, whether it's your character or not, it's bullshit. We're all human beings, and you see new people come into a game, be nice to them. If you're new and you see people there that walk around with their nose in the air and stuff, try to just understand that maybe that's who they are, maybe they're playing their character, or maybe they're an asshole in real life, but that doesn't mean that we have to cause problems with these people. We can just let them go do their thing, and we can do our thing. And game creators, hopefully you try to step in there in the middle and just make it all work out. So if we look at big picture when it comes to like elitism, gatekeeping, these barriers, I think a little understanding from everyone will go a long way. If you don't agree, you can comment below, start that dumpster fire. If you do agree, I mean, I hope you understand what I'm saying. It's just that, you know, standards need to exist for a reason in some games. And if the standards are too high as a player, then maybe another game is where we need to start. And as far as existing players that may have some sort of chip on their shoulder, this elitist sort of aspect, you know, just chill out and be kind to other players who are either just getting started or may not be able to be at the level that you're at, and help them out if you can. But at the very least, don't belittle them, don't be ignorant, you know what I mean? Because once we're outside of that game, you have no idea what anyone's story is, you know what I mean? And the basic thing is, we are all at these games for a little bit of escapism and to have some fun. And the moment you start impeding on someone's fun or escapism, then in my book, you're a piece of shit. And whether you're the people that run the game, people that play the game, or people that come into the game with unrealistic expectations, you're all filed under that category. We all need to just be cool, be understanding, and try to foster this community that is LARP, and I hope that you understand. If you liked this video, please click like. If you didn't, the other button's right beside it. Please subscribe to my channel. Let all your friends know that I'm here making these videos. This is one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't videos, but hopefully I navigated the minefield. And until next time, adventure on.